Rick, if we could. How do you rate him as a worker among big men? He's a legit 6'7", but he could really move, couldn't he?
Yes. Yeah, he's pretty good. You know, it all depended on what mood he was in. But when he wanted to go, he could perform at a very high level.
Well, I know you and he had a few matches, and I remember one time on Nitro, we were talking beforehand, and he said to me, visibly very excited, "Me and the Nate, national TV, what could be better?"
Yeah.
What do you
And
remember? What do you
I
remember
enjoy,
about? Go ahead.
no, I enjoyed working with him. I didn't get a chance to nearly enough, but that's a whole other issue. But yeah, I loved working with him. He was a really good performer.
Now, was the NWO invasion the biggest angle in wrestling history, H? It's the only time WWE got knocked off its perch as the number one promotion. However, temporarily, I forget what the ratings advantage was for Nitro. I think it was 83 weeks, like Eric's podcast. But was that the biggest angle ever, and what made it so good?
I guess you'd have to look at money drawn and merchandise. And I mean, I don't know how you compare the biggest angle ever. Um, I got to be honest with you. I think the biggest angle ever was DX, which was to fight back against NWO. Because with the DX, it just, you throw Shawn Michaels in the mix and Hunter and the Road Dogg and Billy Gunn and China. They were pretty big time too. But certainly the NWO, had a huge role in the success of WCW.
Well, DX, I agree, started the turnaround, I think,
Yeah.
for WWE to come back and take the top spot away from WCW. But I think the NWO invasion angle, I mean, I got to give credit to Vince versus Austin. That was incredible as well. That was
Oh, unbelievable. The
great
the
angle,
best.
great feud.
The
Yeah,
best.
yeah, certainly right there. But I think what made the NWO work, Nate, was people really thought it was an invading army from WWE. They wanted to believe that it was an interpromotional thing. And I know WWE filed lawsuits to prove that that wasn't the case. And Scott and Kevin had to do a disclaimer on TV the night they powerbombed Eric through the stage. But people really did believe that for a bit, didn't they?
I don't know if they thought that. I just think it was, it's something that had been done in Japan. That's where the idea was founded. I think between All Japan and New Japan. But it certainly, with two big main event stars like Scott and Kevin coming across, it was a big deal.
Yeah, certainly the New Japan angle, which I think was new leaders versus now leaders. That's what Eric Bischoff always cited. But
Mhm.
but yeah, I think people wanted to believe it. I think the NWO invasion might be one of the last times that people suspended disbelief. Now, what was the attitude backstage in WCW, Rick, when the NWO took off? Because these were guys coming in like they were literally called the outsiders, and they got pushed straight to the top and became the focal point of the promotion. What was the talk backstage then?
I don't remember. I, I'm sure myself included, we were not, to be pushed back on the back burner. Um, I think that affected all of us, but it was kind of like at the end of my career anyway. I had been kind of, put on the back burner before they got there. So it didn't affect me as much as some of the other guys. And I think the only weakness that NWO had was they added too many people to it.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I think the brand split was a bad idea. First, they
Yeah,
added too many
absolutely.
people, and then when they went to black and white versus red, I thought it just petered out from there.
Yeah, to me, if they had just kept the same original group, the 4 or 5 guys, God only knows how long they would have gone with it. And, eventually bringing the whole I just thought it diluted it terribly.
Well, right, it wasn't the 11 horsemen; it was the 4 horsemen, correct?
Yes.
Now, if Hogan doesn't join the NWO, does it work? Was that the biggest part of it? Because that was some major heel heat when that happened.
Well, obviously, it was a big part of it. I don't know whether it I'm trying to think. I thought they had a lot of momentum before Hulk did it.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think so too.
yeah, I'm not sure that Hulk made him or broke him up, but, or made him that way. Obviously, anything Hulk would do was big time. I didn't almost understand me, but I don't. They were rolling along pretty good without him, so I don't know. The other side of the coin of that is if Hulk had stayed good and been fighting against him, that would have been a hell of a world too, and built some people around him. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense for sure. And I think that's eventually what should have happened. I think Hulk should have turned good back out of it and
Hmm.
fought against the NWO. And then you go to some kind of conclusion. There needed
Yeah.
to be a conclusion. There never was.
No, to me, that never was either. And then, of course, that just the mindset of the company and people having problems, and there was a lot of individual politics. I think that brought everything down.
You mentioned the merchandising before. I don't know if there's ever been a seller like the NWO shirt. It still sells. You still see it. Maybe some of Austin stuff, but boy, that was a heck of a marketing deal with that T-shirt.
Oh, no doubt about it. Are you kidding me? I mean, I don't think it was 316 by any means, but it sold a lot of merchandise.
Yeah, 316 had more varieties, but boy, that one basic NWO shirt with that Stark logo was just tremendous. And I thought the NWO commercials, remember the paid announcements they would do to get them over as a separate entity? I thought those were very good as well. Who did the voice? He was at your birthday party. That voice, Neil.
Oh, Neil Pruitt.
Yeah, he did the voice.
Yeah.
The,
Yes.
fo-
Yeah.
the following announcement.
Yeah.
That was great, wasn't it?
Yeah. Neil was great. I mean, God, what a great guy. There's a name out of the past.
Yeah, just a terrific guy. And like his voice added a lot of gravitas to that whole thing.